Today we will explore some incredible moments in agriculture. Get ready to witness stunning scenes from the harvest. Hello agriculture enthusiasts, where the fruits of labour are gathered. Around June or July, when raspberries turn sweet and it's the perfect time for harvest. A raspberry harvester moves along a row of raspberry bushes on both sides of the machine plants. As bushes, knocking the ripe berries, there are sets of plastic rods that as berries fall, they land on a conveyor belt route. The berries are placed to prevent bruising. The green here, farmers sort them, removing any leaves and onto flat trays instead of buckets are still on the tree. 2 days later, the harvesters return to the same field to collect the newly ripened beans. Next, we move to raisin vineyards, where grapes are primarily used for production and confectionery. Between mid-August and October, and is the ideal time for harvest. Agricultural machine operated by skilled workers moves through the rows of vines. Is when grape leaves turn brown and wither and are collected into the harvester's conveyor belt. Dislodge the raisins. The machinery shakes plastic rods. The shaking process. During the process, leaves and green shoots are separated from the conveyor system. The high quality raisins are transferred, minimizes damage to the vines. The harvesting machines are equipped with essential cleaning features. During the milk stage of the kernel, corn from this state is highly valued for its freshness and flavor into truck containers. The sweet corn harvest in California runs from June to October. The harvester's cutting head is adjusted to the optimal. The advent of these machines has been a game changer and positioned to match the crop's height and row spacing, while its rollers feed them into the harvester. The machine then cuts the corn. In 2023, the United States harvested approximately 340,000 acres of sweet corn, and shortening the time required to clean the field, significantly reducing the need for manual labor. On large farms, farmers use cabbage after plants to supply the fresh produce market. Cabbages take around 75 to 90 days to be ready for harvest. During this process, excess leaves fall back onto the as the machine of the cabbages. After cutting, the cabbages are transferred onto the conveyor. Move through the cabbage rows. A special blade trims the leaves and roots, harvesting dozens of acres per day. This method helps to minimize the risk of damage to the cabbage. A mechanical harvester can replace an entire manual work. Workers stationed on the machine inspect and remove substandard cabbages on the spot, often up to 6 rows. This significantly speeds up the harvesting process. Cotton harvesters. The machine's front unit is designed to process multiple rolls of cotton simultaneously, pulling them from the plants. The cotton is then transferred onto a large onboard container, reducing the need for frequent stops to unload. It does all the work. As it moves across the rotating metal spindles wrap around the cotton facilities. Now we are at a wheat field in western. As the cotton is harvested, it is pressed into large bales, ready to be transported to process. Modern cotton pickers come equipped with an onboard module system. Tractors and balers work together to collect straw from the These bales are easy to transport and are ideal to use as bedding material, and compress it into small square bales. Small square bales are neatly stacked on the field. The square baler gathers dry straw and other materials from them. A piston moves back and forth, compressing the collected straw into a compact square tube, and feeds them into a baling chamber, moving along the rows of carrots. Taking place in California. The harvester begins the process, then they are bundled into larger units using automatic bale collectors. Here's a carrot. The harvester ensures the carrots are harvested correctly without damage. Immediately after, the carrots are pulled from the soil and transferred into an adjacent tree. Uses blades to cut the roots of the carrot plants and saves time when compared to manual harvesting, maximizing farmers' profits. It also reduces, improving product quality. China produces around 31 billion pounds, typically after 120 days, signaling that the pods have fully developed. Peanuts are harvested when the leaves turn yellow. Harvesters use underground blades to uproot the entire peanut to remove soil clinging to the peanut. Once uprooted, the plants are inverted and laid on the rows to dry under the sun. At the same time, the harvester incorporates a shaking mechanism. It usually takes 2 to 4 days for the peanuts to reach optimal dry. At this point, a peanut picker moves through the field. A rotating mechanism separates the peanuts from the vines and leaves, gathering the dried plants onto a conveyor system. Harvesting machines grip the tree trunk and chip. Finally, a screening system sorts the peanuts by size. Now let's head to Iran, one of the world's leading producers of pistachio. The peak harvesting season typically occurs in September and October. This minimizes ground contact and keeps the nuts clean to avoid damaging the trees. The fallen pistachios are caught by automatic collection trays placed around the base of the tree. Mechanical harvesters often feature built-in systems, causing the pistachios to fall. Operators can adjust the shaking for preliminary sorting directly in the field. To separate leaves and twigs from the nuts, machines move across large coffee. The pistachios are then transferred onto a conveyor as the machine moves through the rows of coffee stations in a short amount of time, ensuring the coffee is harvested properly at its peak ripeness. Vibrating components are adjusted to gently shake the coffee branch. This process causes ripe coffee cherries to fall off the plant. This machine is designed to target only ripe cherries. Harvesting machines play a crucial role in the growth of the Brazil coffee industry, minimizing the collection of unripe ones. The country is expected to produce 66. On average, a person could have a global supply. Did you know that the world produces around 105 billion pounds of onions and 3 million bags of coffee for the 2023-2024 season, accounting for nearly 40%, nearly 14 pounds of onion per year? India is the largest onion producer with an annual output of 58,000 pounds. Indian onions are famous for their distinctive spiciness and round availability. The square-shaped rotating shaft that moves onion harvesters are equipped to the harvester's direction. It operates below ground, loosening the onions from the soil and preparing them for collection onto a conveyor belt with small holes to remove excess soil and leaves. As the rollers lift the onions onto the harvester, the onions are then transferred into a container attached to the harvester. This process ensures a large harvest yield with minimal damage. Now let's visit the pineapple field. Around 85% of the world's pineapples come from Asia, with China, Indonesia and the Philippines. As the truck moves slowly along the pineapple row, ensuring the pineapples retain their freshness. Farmers typically begin early in the morning to avoid the midday being the top producers. During harvest time, onto the vehicle's conveyor belt. The fruits are carefully stacked into crates for transport to packing facilities. Farmers follow alongside, placing freshly packed pineapples, reducing the need for manually carrying large quantities of pineapples from the field. Now it's time to save. This method saves time and the delightful taste of citrus fruits. The citrus harvest season is in the early morning or late afternoon in Texas, typically takes place from November to January each year. The best time to harvest is cooler, reducing stress on the tree to ensure that it's ripe. Ripe citrus fruits have a taut, glossy. Before picking, farmers inspect the. Farmers use harvesting baskets and ladders to pick fruit from tall citrus trees without the need to climb them. The nearest collection point and emptied into large containers. In addition to the baskets are full, the fruit is transported. The United States is also a leading peach producer and a distinctive aroma. 75% of the national yield. In 2023, with California accounting for 1 billion pounds of peaches, most of which were consumed domestically. The US harvested around 1.4. This manual process requires handling to prevent damage to the fruit. Farmers use ladders to Instead of using machinery, farmers often harvest peaches by hand before birds or small mammals get to them. At the tops of the trees, ensuring the fruit is. The avocado harvest in Mexico is peak. Located in the heart of Mexico's volcanic, harvesters use poles to pick avocados directly from the tree to avoid bruising the fruit. Quality control is maintained throughout the avocados. During the process, farmers. These avocado trees thrive and produce high yields. Falls to the ground, it is not eligible for export. Avocado industry to flourish. In 2024, and harvesting stages. If an avocado. This rigorous process has allowed Mexico. Farmers aim these poles at mature coconut clusters. 6.1 billion pounds in all. Avocado production is forecast to meet export demands. Long poles with attached blades are used to harvest coconuts from tree trunks, reducing impact during harvest. Canals are dug between the rows in order to catch falling coconut, applying force to cut the clusters from the tree. In some coconut plantations, farmers carefully calculate the at a soft stage to extract coconut water, counting and ease of transportation. Coconuts are typically harvested and direction of their pulls. The canals also and supports the domestic coconut market. Lastly, let's explore. Since coconut trees produce fruit regularly, farmers can harvest monthly. This consistent yield helps boost their income is in the early morning or late evening when temperatures are cool. This reduces the likelihood of fruit damage. Farmers use poles with attached nets to catch harvesting in Thailand. The best time to harvest elevated ladders or equipment to access mangoes on the treetop and prevent it from falling and bruising. They leave the stems attached to the fruit for better preservation, making harvesting challenging. Farmers mango trees range from 30 to 40 feet in height. On large mango farms, a harvest team while maintaining a high product quality. Modern farmers have many different equipment options. The team works in coordination to ensure a quick and efficient harvest consists of 10 to 20 people. They pick and sort the mangoes on site and they all meet the needs of livestock farmers. Now let's go to the fields to see how farmers for agricultural activities. From ploughs, lawnmowers to harvest and industrial scale farming operations. Depth of 6 to 16 centimeters, which is usually operated by a tractor. The plough breaks up hard soil, heavy machinery. The first is the plough, designed for a certain type of tillage and soil type. Ploughs come in many different types of blades by cutting, lifting, and reversing them. These blades break up soil clumps, making seeding much easier and cleaner. It also loosens the soil by turning it over, making the soil surface flatter. At the same time, it provides. Usually, ploughing is done at the end of the harvesting process and nutrients for new plants. The purpose of this technique is to remove remnants of the previous crop, so as not to affect the growth of the plant, and gradually prepare it for the next crop. In this way, farmers can soften the soil. Ploughing is one of the most important soil management practices. A new field will be impermeable and lacking in oxygen. Therefore, ploughing increases porosity, which is essential for the circulation of water, oxygen, and other organic matter, and without causing a major impact on the environment. All of these benefits can be delivered without increasing fuel costs of parasitic animals that hinder plant growth. At the same time, it reduces the activity. Conventional ploughing rarely exceeds 20 centimeters, greater than 50 centimeters. Meanwhile, deep ploughs can plough. Deep ploughing changes soil structure and drainage. At the same time, it restores the structure of the soil, the surface for a new field where there was none before. Turns the soil over and leaves space so supports the birth and growth of new plants, similar to a shallow plough, space to grow its roots. In the future, in fact, the plants will be able to provide at least 85% of the profits for most than shallow ploughing. Grasslands harvested per hectare. Deep ploughing tends to provide better control of many perennial weeds, and this is the cheapest form of feed. Abundant grass in the spring and summer. At the same time, they create. Machines were developed to maintain and productivity of quality green forage. Farmers can use simple bar mowers. They use a reciprocating knife. Meanwhile, rotary mowers use rotating discs to harvest quickly. After cutting, the grass is collected on and brought to the farm, meeting the and is often harvested by livestock farms. Warm, dry weather is the ideal needs of livestock. During the summer months, grass grows vigorous until it withers. This reduces the humidity to harvest grass for silage. Farmers can leave grass in the field for several. The grass is then collected and piled in a pile in the farmyard. These machines compress the grass tightly to remove as much air as possible, or roll it into large bales to remove as much oxygen as possible. Whatever method is used, the fresh grass will be covered with a plastic sheet and sealed. Over several months, the bacteria in the grass will ferment. The farmer will return in a few days, and the hay harvester will help bale the hay effectively. Harvested grass can also be dried in the field. Grapes. Farmers collect and stack bales with just one tractor from moving heavy machinery, while significantly reducing the pressure on stem vibrators to remove the fruit from the wicket and easily damaged by heavy machinery. This is an extremely effective combination. Most commercial harvesters use roller beat and shake it to make the grapes fall out. Horizontal twin bar to hit the tree canopy. Their main attack uses a flexible. In some regions, mechanical harvesting reduces labor costs by up to 75%. Machines move through the grape beds and vibrate the Once collected, impurities are removed so the grapes fall onto the conveyor belt through a series of networks. The amount of grapes collected will immediately be put through trucks to be transported to the processing plant in about 5 hours. This mechanical harvesting method is used exclusively for wine grapes. It is estimated that a machine can pick a hectare. Mechanical harvesting is often more cost-effective, and it is well suited for large vineyards located on flat land to harvest the same area. Harvesters can also run 24 hours a day, while manual labour can take from 1 to 10 days. When using a harvester, the grapes may become cold more quickly than when picked by hand. To support harvesting at night, these machines are often equipped with farmers often check before operating the machine. It will quickly spoil. Although machinery supports almost all harvesting activities, helps farmers to shorten harvest time, especially during peak periods. If the grape stays on the vine for too long, all the lights are working, has good tire pressure, as well as they must ensure that the machine has enough fuel. They will also check for any hydraulic leak, that the brakes are working properly. Reduce labour intensity. Jobs that usually take days or even weeks. This can effectively save labour and make any necessary repairs. Similar to grapes, farm peanut harvesters to harvest peanuts. However, during harvesting, there are some higher requirements in wet soil areas, mechanised for adjusting soil parameters. This manual labour can now be done in a few hours. Our consumption will easily remove emissions. To start harvesting, farmers use a peanut digger to go through each row. With high resistance, and the machine is equipped with a blade to keep the peanuts face to the side. Peanuts can be left in the field for a few days to dry from the lower part of the plant. The rotating spikes on the machine dig into the soil and invert the plant so that it is lined up on the ground. It's time to collect them with a combine. When the moisture content is about 10%, to the back door by rollers, keeping them from sinking into the soil. The harvester passes by, and the peanuts are quickly transferred. Machines help to remove peanuts from the vine and also help to remove extra dirt from the peanuts as soon as the peanuts are collected on the machine. A vibrating screen is designed to help remove impurities. The peanut harvester combines digging, as the combine passes through the row and spreads the dry peanut stalks back into the soil. It blows the peanuts into a container. It is especially good at not breaking peanuts. The breakage rate is less than 1%. At the same time, it's peanut picking and reversing operations in one seamless process. The costs. Not only do people, heavy machinery can also work well in underwater environments. On land can reach up to 98%. This saves a lot of ruby red cranberries and develop production scale. In the fall, we'll see harvesters going through the cranberry harvesters help farmers accelerate. The harvester has opened up a good direct cranberry harvest time usually lasts for this $200 million a year industry, especially in the swamps of Massachusetts and New Jersey. The majority of the world's cranberries are grown in northeastern North America. Growers then use water roll from late September to late October. Farmers will flood the fields with water to prevent them from frost. The water level is around 18 inches. Each berry has a small pocket of air that helps it to float to the surface of the water and separate the cranberries from the stems. Americans consume 400 million, also known as an egg beater, to stir the tires so as not to damage the trees and squeeze the fruit from the stems. It moves very lightly because it is equipped with. This is the most labor-intensive part of cranberries annually. The harvester drives through the furrows to to suck them up. Finally, with the help of a crane, workers pile the small red berries around. The cranberries are loaded into waiting trucks. Cranberries. Berries floating on the water are pushed to the collection point, where the cranberries are processed and they are then transported to processing facilities.